Let's take the wraps on this global unveil of the DB11 Volante. Ladies, please. And Andy, tell us a little bit about what you believe this vehicle represents in terms of the market here in the U.S.
Very important, of course, for the market. We're in a turnaround of the company. It's 7 cars in 7 years. The DB11 is the first of those cars. DB11 V12 engine coupe has been out for nearly 12 months now. We recently introduced the V8 engine, and then this is the third and last derivative of the DB11. We call it the Volante. Volante, of course, the Italian for flying. Very important for this market because obviously the US is a big convertible market. We would expect this to represent about 50% of the volume sold in the country.
You bring up a good point. A $218,000 beautiful ultra-luxury convertible should not be hard to get attention. But in this market, especially the United States, you find it harder to cut through the noise that's out there, right?
Yeah, we're a relatively small company. We sell very expensive cars, very exclusive cars. We sell around 5,000 cars a year, so globally. About 1,500 in the United States. Getting that message across that we're an independent British company. We make our cars by hand. They're bespoke to each of the customers. It's a little bit like a Savile Row suit. So if you want your option pack, as long as it's legal,
sure.
Of course we can provide almost anything you want. Demonstrating the value of such a beautiful motor car is sometimes difficult to cut through, but you know. When you create a beautiful car and people see it gets the attention, then hopefully people start asking the question of what's special about this car.
Being made by hand and being made in the UK, and you've got 2 plants over there, a lot of focus in terms of what Brexit might mean for Aston Martin, and the negotiations are just beginning. What's your sense in terms of how quickly some type of a finalization is agreed upon between the UK and the European countries?
Well, first of all, Brexit hasn't been bad for us because Brexit has been balanced by a weakening of the pound, and we're a company that exports about 80% of what we produce, and a weaker pound, in fact, so far helps us. But everybody wants clarity about what the UK will look like post-Brexit. I think there's a little bit too high expectations right now in assuming that the negotiators will quickly come to an agreement. Clearly, there's some posturing to do, and eventually it's in the best interest of everybody that we get a solution. But it's going to take a little bit of time, I think.
Do you need that clarity before a potential IPO? And I know you've discussed going public at some point. In other words, do you need Brexit before you can say, yes, it's time for us to go public?
Well, we know Brexit is going to happen. That's a done deal. The public has voted on it. Good or bad, Brexit is going to happen. So we know that for an assurity. What we don't know is what the trade deal will look like. We could have no tariffs, or we could have the WTO tariffs, 10%. To be frank, we as a car company, we can cope with the tariffs. What we worry about is the non-tariffs, and that's the clarity that we need from the government is what does that non-tariff, hopefully no non-tariffs, what does that look like post-Brexit?
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.